There are some places on earth that just feel closer to heaven. Places where something holy happened, where you can almost feel history and faith in the air. But one place stands above the rest: Jerusalem. This ancient city has always played a huge role in God's plan. It's where kings were crowned. Prophets spoke powerful words. It's where Jesus cried, and where one day the future of the world might unfold. And now something strange, maybe even supernatural, is happening. On the eastern wall of the Temple Mount, right above the most mysterious and powerful gate mentioned in the Bible, something has appeared. Some say it looks like a message. Others believe it's a name or a divine signature. It wasn't carved by any human. It seems to have been formed by time, wind, and maybe something far greater. So what is it? Why now? And could this be connected to ancient prophecy? Before we dive deeper, make sure to subscribe and tap the bell icon. We've got more amazing stories on prophecy, archaeology, and biblical secrets coming your way. Now let's go back to the center of this mystery, the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. This spot is one of the holiest places on earth. 3 major world religions look to it as sacred. For the Jewish people, this is where the first and second temples once stood. For Christians, the Temple Mount is where Jesus taught, prayed, and even flipped over the money changers' tables. For Muslims, it's home to the Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque, both incredibly sacred sites. But beyond all the religious and historical importance, there's something even deeper about this place. According to the Bible, the Temple Mount is the one spot on earth where God himself said he would put his name forever. In 1 Kings 9 verse 3, God spoke to Solomon and said, "I have heard your prayer and your plea that you have offered before me. I have consecrated this house that you have built by putting my name there forever. My eyes and my heart will always be there." That wasn't just poetic language, it was literal. God's presence filled the temple. His glory was there. And his name was tied to that exact location, out of all the places in the world. For centuries, people have wondered, what did God mean by putting his name there? Was it just symbolic? Was it spiritual? Or, could it ever become visible? One of the most amazing parts of the Temple Mount is its eastern wall. That's where you'll find the Golden Gate, also called the Gate of Mercy, or the Gate of the Messiah. This gate is unlike any other in Jerusalem. It faces directly toward the Mount of Olives. And according to the prophets, this is the gate the Messiah will use when he returns. In the book of Ezekiel, the prophet saw a vision. He was brought to the eastern gate, and he saw the glory of God coming from the east. God's glory entered the temple through that gate. But today, that gate is sealed shut. It was closed off in the 1500s by Suleiman the Magnificent, a ruler of the Ottoman Empire. And to make things even harder, a Muslim cemetery was placed in front of it, possibly to prevent the Jewish Messiah from entering, based on tradition. For centuries, this gate has sat in silence, sealed and undisturbed. But now, all eyes are on it. Why? Because something strange has started to appear just above it. Visitors and researchers have begun noticing something unusual on the eastern wall. A pattern has appeared in the stones, weathered, aged, but clearly forming something ancient. At first, some said it was just erosion. Others called it a coincidence. But the more people looked, the more obvious it became, this wasn't random. Etched into the stone was a word. A name. A name that thundered from the burning bush. The same name that filled the Holy of Holies in the temple. It was the name Yahweh. Yes, Yahweh. Not a title. Not a symbol. But the personal name of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The name too holy to be spoken aloud in ancient Israel. The name that means, I am who I am. It's the same name God revealed to Moses in Exodus 3 verses 14 to 15, saying, "This is my name forever. The name you shall call me from generation to generation." Now, after thousands of years, that sacred name Yahweh is showing up again. But this time, not on stone tablets or scrolls. It's appearing on the very wall that faces the path the Messiah will one day walk. This isn't just a name, it's life itself. Ancient rabbis believed the letters of Yahweh Yod, He, Vav, He, actually mimic the sound of breathing. That every time we inhale and exhale, we're unknowingly speaking God's name. From your very first breath to your last, you're declaring His name. That's powerful. This name appears almost 7,000 times in the Hebrew Bible. It stands for who God is. He was, He is, and He will always be. To the Israelites, the name was too sacred to say. To the prophets, it was the name that made mountains tremble. And now, that same name seems to be written once again, etched into Jerusalem's stone wall like a whisper from eternity. Back when Jesus entered Jerusalem, the religious leaders told Him to silence the crowds who were praising Him. But in Luke 19 verse 40, Jesus replied, "I tell you, if these should keep silent, the stones would immediately cry out." And now, it seems like the stones are crying out again. This appearance of Yahweh on the eastern wall may not be a random mark. It might be a divine message, a heavenly sign to a world that's drifting further and further from truth. It could be a final wake-up call. A declaration that the King is coming, and time is short. The prophet Zechariah said in Zechariah 14 verse 4, "On that day, His feet will stand on the Mount of Olives, east of Jerusalem. And from that very mountain, the Messiah will return, facing the sealed eastern gate." The same gate where this mysterious name now appears. Jesus said in Matthew 24 verse 27, "For as lightning comes from the east and flashes to the west, so will be the coming of the Son of Man." This isn't random. This is divine alignment. The name on the wall. The sealed gate. The Mount of Olives. All pointing to one thing, the greatest return in history. And in the last book of the Bible, this name shows up again. Not on walls, but on people. In Revelation 14 verse 1, the Apostle John wrote, "Then I looked, and there before me was the Lamb standing on Mount Zion, and with Him 144,000 who had His name and His Father's name written on their foreheads." God is once again marking His people. Not with rituals or religion, but with His name, Yahweh. So now, the question becomes, has His name been written on your heart? Why would God write His name on the eastern wall? To wake up the world. To stir hearts. To fulfill a promise made long ago, that His name would remain in Jerusalem forever. In a world drowning in chaos and spiritual blindness, God has given us a sign in stone. He's reminding us of who He is. He's calling us back to repentance. And He's preparing the way for the return of the Messiah. This isn't just a sign. It's a call to action. A call to faith. A call to prepare. The name of God Yahweh now appears on the eastern wall. The gate is still sealed. But maybe not for long. The signs are all around us. Prophecies are coming together. And the King is getting closer. The question is, will you be ready when He walks through that gate? Let this be your moment. Not just a moment of curiosity, but a moment of commitment. Not just wonder, but worship. If this message touched your heart, don't leave without doing something about it. Subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with someone who needs to hear this truth. Help us spread the message of what God is doing in these final days. And may the name of Yahweh, our eternal and holy God, be written not just on a wall in Jerusalem, but on every heart that longs for His return. Shalom. Maranatha. The King is coming.